Hi there, welcome back. We're going to, in this module, look at something called the construction protocol. Basically, the construction protocol allows us to record various steps in constructions that we create in GeoGebra. Basically, use the construction protocol in two ways. First, I use the construction protocol as a teaching tool. I'm able to record various steps of a construction and share these steps with my students. The second way I use it is as an assessment tool. I can actually, when I assign my students sketches to create, after I collect them, I can go back through with construction protocol and determine the steps that they use to create their sketch. So it allows me some insight into their mathematical thinking. So what we're going to do here is actually construct a dynamic rectangle together. And after we construct this rectangle, we're going to look at the steps that we use to create the rectangle. And we're going to use something called breakpoints to cluster various steps together to make a playback of the steps more clear for students. We'll also play around a little bit with changing the order of the construction, of the steps of the construction, to see if some of the steps are interchangeable or not. So just to begin, we're going to turn off the algebra view here. We'll do that just under the view menu. Pick algebra, make sure it's unchecked. We're going to uncheck the axes. And we're going to make sure that our point capturing is turned to automatic, and our labeling is turned on to all new objects. Once you've done that, let's go ahead and we're going to create a line segment. This line segment will be AB. So we can create points A and B. Let's connect those with a line segment. This line segment, labeled A, is going to be one side of our dynamic rectangle. So next we're going to create a line perpendicular to segment A that passes through point A. We can do this a couple of ways. I'll demonstrate both. Up here under the fourth button from the left, you'll see there's a perpendicular line tool. And this works in the following way. You select a point that you want the perpendicular to go through, and then a line perpendicular to the line you want. So I want a line passing through A that's perpendicular to segment A. So that's how the tool works. Now, there's also a command, an input command that will do the same thing. If you type down in the input bar perpendicular line, notice there's an option that asks you for a point and a segment. And this time we want our perpendicular line to pass through point B, so I'll type B here. And then we want this line to be perpendicular to segment A. So I'll type A there. When I hit enter, I should have a second perpendicular. And I do. Okay, next we're going to create a point C down here that lies on line C. So we could use the point tool here, create a new point on this line. Just for fun, I'm going to use the point command. If we type point C equals a point on the object C, line C in this case, we hit enter, and C is created as a point on line C. We're going to need a perpendicular line passing through point C perpendicular to line C. So I'm going to use this command again. This time we want a perpendicular line through point C perpendicular to line C, lowercase c. Hit enter. And we have our fourth side of our rectangle. We need to find the intersection of lines B and D. So we can do that as well. If we type in intersect, we're going to actually type in the objects that are intersecting, B and D, hit return. There we have the fourth vertex of our rectangle. Now if you shy away from the command line a little bit, you can do that same last step using the intersection tool here. Second button from the left, pick intersect two objects, and click on the two objects that intersect, namely lines B and D. The result is equivalent to what we just typed in. And then we're going to go ahead and draw segments connecting BC, CD, and DA for the sake of completeness. There you have it. That's our rectangle. If you want, you could hide or show these lines B, C, and D. I'm going to choose just to keep them visible for the moment. We want to see the steps that we use to create this rectangle. It is in fact a rectangle. If you drag points around, notice that BCD retains the properties of a rectangle. It's got 4 right angles. So if you actually go to the view option and actually check on the construction protocol, a pop-up menu appears, pop-up window, and it will show all of the steps of our construction. So I'll move this over here a little bit out of the way. Now one thing that's kind of interesting is you'll notice there's a couple of buttons here on the bottom of the construction protocol window. If you click on this left arrow, this advances back through the constructions one at a time. You can also advance through one step at a time forward, clicking on this button. Now, in fact, you can click anywhere on here. You can skip steps, go anywhere within this construction that you would like. These buttons on the extremes, either the far left or the far right, advance all the way back to the beginning, or all the way to the end, like so. So that allows some control over the steps that you see, but we'd like a little bit more control using something called the breakpoints. We can actually control in a little bit more detail what steps appear on the screen. And we want to see the breakpoint column in our construction protocol. So right now, whenever I push on this button, I advance through every step of the construction in order. I don't skip any steps. What a breakpoint allows you to do is cluster these steps of the construction together. For instance, Might be kind of interesting to group steps 1 through 3 together. If I click on this little box, the breakpoint box for step 3, what will happen is when I advance through the steps, I will see steps 1 through 3 together. I'll do the same thing for steps 4 through 8 by placing a breakpoint here. Lastly, I will group together steps 9 through 11 by placing a breakpoint at step 11. Now by selecting Show Only Breakpoints again, you'll notice there are only 3 steps now in my construction. The first step combines previously the steps 1 through 3 together. When I advance again, literally this is going to show my previous steps 4 through 8 together. And then the last step is going to show my previous steps 9 through 11 together. So we can take a construction that has many steps and compress those steps down using breakpoints. If you want to see all the steps again, uncheck Show Only Breakpoints, and you'll see all the steps once again. Then you can advance to the steps one at a time as before. Something that's a little bit interesting about this construction protocol is the fact that you can take individual steps of the construction and you can drag them. Sometimes steps will be draggable, other times they will not be. For instance, constructing segment F, let's see if we can drag this. Do you notice that there's a little no symbol, like forbidden? I'm not able to drag the construction of segment F anywhere else. Look at that though, I was able to drag it up one step above. Wonder if I could drag the construction of segment G to previous step. I am. I'm wondering if I could drag the construction of points A and B, reverse their order. I'm able to. Now if I go back through and play this, show only the breakpoints, I wonder if I still will end up with a rectangle. Yes. So these steps, the ordering didn't matter, the ones that I changed. If I try to change the order that lines B and C were constructed, won't let me do that. Notice that little warning symbol, not allowed. There's a dependency that must be going on here that won't allow me to construct line B without segment A first existing. If I take point D here, try to drag it above, it won't let me do that. So it's just interesting to see which parts of the construction are interchangeable, which ones can be moved around the ordering, which cannot. Some things for you to try now that you know a little bit more about the construction protocol, is how about try this? Try creating a construction of an equilateral triangle and changing the order of the steps. You might also try creating a construction of a square and changing the order of its steps. Lastly, think about how you could use the construction protocol with your students. We'll let you play around with that and discuss some of your findings on our discussion board. And we're eager to see what you have to say about this feature of GeoGebra. So have some fun, and we'll talk to you soon.